If I had to describe Lizzy in one word, it would be a giver. Every time I needed help, I could always count on her.
I got into the fire service about 12 years ago. Fire service was something that was really needed in our community. Small stations, lightly manned. I thought I could make a difference. I've been doing this for a lot of years and you don't really think about the dangers. I think you train hard, you work harder, and you trust each other. But accidents do happen. My accident happened on September 3rd, 2021. And Ron, which has been my captain on and off for many years, he sings happy birthday to me as we're coming down the Poly.
I'll never forget that day. It's locked in my memory, as few other events in my life have been.
So the fire that happened down there had actually been burning for probably about 3-4 months already. There was no indication above ground that the fire had been burning. Just on occasion the fire would start.
We were pulling hose out to this fire and it was under control very quickly. Captain Kiavi and I noticed a small flare-up. As we were walking along, suddenly I dropped, just like it was a trap door. I knew that I was in trouble. I had no control over getting out. I couldn't use my hands to get out. The ground was too hot. It was too high for me to reach and lift myself out of. I screamed for him to help me. He was right there on me. Within 40 seconds, I was out.
This guy's a hero. And he had her on his back, and he had a little problem where he sank into this sand.
You couldn't see these areas, and were there more of them? We didn't know. So he was able to back out and sort of reroute us around it.
I recognized Captain Kaina, and then when he turned, I saw Lizzy's face. She looked at me, and I was like, oh no, it's Liz.
I didn't realize, honestly, how severe my burns were. I could see it in the faces of everybody else, though.
Maybe about 5 seconds after I checked her out and saw how serious the injuries were, I said, we got to get you to Straub.
That she had deep burns, possibly full thickness of her right leg. Full thickness burns means that the skin is burned to a level that it cannot regenerate or heal itself.
The next thing I remember is I waking up the next morning and I'm reaching for my legs, especially my right leg. I didn't know if it was going to be there or not. I didn't know if either leg would be there or not. And they were both there.
Ultimately, she had to have surgery to graft some of the areas on her leg.
The nurses were very quick to let me know exactly who Dr. Schultz was. And I could have very well gone to sleep for a couple months and woken up and known I would be okay.
The burn nurses are great because they have to every day get the patient ready to go in and have a fair amount of pain.
The burns in a way is sort of a no pain, no gain mentality where it's gonna hurt. And unfortunately, we're gonna probably cause you pain when we see you for your exercises and moving. But the only reason we're doing it is because in the long run, so that you can function and do what you want to do.
One thing that I loved so much about that unit was the honesty. I was scared to death. I'm a single lady by myself. I don't know anybody around me. And I was so grateful for every single person that came into contact with me. They became family, Ohana. I was in the burn unit for 2 months. And by the time I left, there was a lot of tears.
Overcoming an injury like that and having to deal with the pain and the trauma and all that kind of stuff can be challenging. It can change people. But if anything, it changed Liz for the better.
I feel like I can make a difference to people who've been in the same position that I have been in. I'm grateful that I have the strength to do that and the want to do that.